Stop everything, ladies and gentlemen, because you got to bet online. Hold the horses. Have you ever heard of the 85-10-5 rule? 85% of the world is just here to be taken advantage of.
If this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
You dummies! If you got into your passion because your goal was to sell people this mug because I use this mug, I dare say you never really had a passion for this at all.
Fresher, the better.
The fresher, the better. Bro, what the fuck? This worked on you. We've lost the plot. My whole goal now as a comedian is to get my podcast to blow up so that I can sell boner pills to erectile dysfunctional men and really disturbed women.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus, the podcast, season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram. All right, I'm done.
Chill. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Black Zeus, the podcast, season 6, episode 26. I am Black Zeus. You are the beautiful people. Thank you for being here another week. I am here solo dolo once again. Dante should be back next week, but I have a nice episode planned for us today. It is hot as hell once again, but I got the fresh braid up. Ooh, I got the rope twist. Oh, I got 6 dreads in one rope. What? That's a lot. It's getting too hot, yo. It's getting too hot. I hope you guys had a good week. I hope your next week is even better than your last. We are going to get right into this episode because it is too hot. The hotter it gets, the quicker I try and get out of here. But I still give you guys a full dose of whatever the hell this is. We're here to break down the week in comedy, talk some life, talk whatever. Wait a second. You're telling me there's a burger component to all of this? Yo, do you guys remember how crazy, the pandemic was? Holy crap. I will never let you guys forget it. Like, I will never let the people that did weird stuff to their bodies and shamed other people forget how weird you are. I'm not going to go down the friggin', you shouldn't have done it, because I'm sure you already feel guilty now that the actual science has always been out there, but now you got it through your official channels or whatever. Oh, but CNN said now, 8 years after I took the thing in my body. Weird, bro. I had an epiphany recently. I guess I might as well just get into the friggin' beginning of the show. But actually, before I do, go check out the latest episode of Black Zeus, the show on the channel. Episode 9 is up right now. Fun episode in St. Catharines. Wait, is that the episode? I don't know. It's a good new episode that we released. And if you're into seeing what it is to be on the road with Dante and myself, go check that one out. I do think it was St. Catharines. I'm pretty sure. But it was, yes, and we interviewed George Rivard. Come on, great episode. It's like I haven't watched it, but I have. I watched it while I was editing it and filming it live in person. Hello, it's Black Zeus, the show. I'm Black Zeus. This is the podcast, though, so don't get confused. There might be changes coming up in the future with how we do content on the channel, but as of right now, things are sticking the same. But what I was getting at before I had to break and do a little promo for our show, I'm thinking last week was so successful. If you haven't noticed, there was a glow up last week. We got our first sponsors. I don't know if you've seen them, but go check out the shorts on the channel right now. And I think it caught the eye of all the major podcasting advertisers because this week we got brand new sponsors for the podcast. Let's go, bro. We're continuing to click up. It's all because of you guys and your support. So thank you for continuing to ride with us. And now we are finally getting that recognition, that shine. Zeus can finally be shill. I am shill, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is brought to you by Overdraft King. Feeling powerless in the face of a global collapse? Take control the passive-aggressive way with Overdraft King, the betting app for people who are already in over their heads. At Overdraft King, we believe that your last $20 should work for you by losing immediately in a bet on men's wrestling in a sand pit country that you can't pronounce. Whether it's underwater archery, speed cheese rolling, or competitive sneezing, we've got something for everyone with a gambling problem and a Wi-Fi signal. No cash? No problem. With our patented negative balance boosters, just say, yeah, whatever, and we'll front you the money straight from the ghost of your financial future. Every bet made on Overdraft King is proudly backed by absolutely nothing. I personally wagered $75 on the outcome of a full moon drum circle last weekend. I don't know who won, but I got a push notification that said, there's always next time, champ. I haven't slept since. And don't worry, we keep things healthy with built-in reminders like, time spent betting isn't time spent panicking. Still losing? Maybe it's time to adjust your attitude. Invest in yourself by betting against others. With Overdraft King, every clip... I'm new to the advert game, ladies and gentlemen. With Overdraft King, every click gives you the illusion of power while your checking account quietly applies for a DNR. Sign up now with promo code Panic Spiral. I'm the worst ad read guy. Sign up now with promo codes Panic Spiral and get your first bonus wager plus a complimentary ringtone that just says, "You good?" every 30 minutes. Overdraft King. Because if the world's ending anyways, you might as well lose in style. If you're dumb as hell, that was not real. I'm not sponsored. The Overdraft King is not a thing, but you know what it's spoofing. And how in this day and age, when apples cost $8 an apple, groceries are super expensive, gas prices are up, rent is astronomically through the roof, you got to have 18 roommates, people are losing their jobs left and right, friggin' biblical style natural occurrences all over North America and the world, war, famine, more war, money laundering, garbage politicians. No, stop everything, ladies and gentlemen, because you got to bet online. Hold the horses. You know what's funny? I'm going to get back into this little pandemic riff, or I don't even think did I do it? I didn't even have it, but it's in my mind. I'm like, future, this is what happens when I'm on stage. But now I'm not on stage, and I'm just having a friggin' breakdown on the podcast. I've noticed ever since the pandemic, everything about marketing online sports betting has amplified by 100x. What happened, bro? It was literally illegal in Ontario, Canada to promote online gambling and sports betting. And magically during the pandemic, that rule was thrown out. And all of a sudden, you're getting ads for all of them. I don't even want to say their names because, bruh, like if that shit works on you, God help us all. And you know what's messed up? Is that works on most of you. All that stuff. You think you're better than it, but there is something out there that is just marketed directly towards you, and it's got you by the balls or by the pussy. Just dragging you down. Wait a second. You mean to tell me there's a burger component to all of this? Bro, I will never let you live that down. F everybody that went against their own gut instinct. F everybody who just blindly believes what they're told by people of authority, quote unquote. What are we talking about? Let's go back to the pandemic for just a moment here. Now that I was already making fun of this stuff. You guys remember, right? The people that said all these people are conspiracy nuts, saying that you shouldn't put this weird foreign substance that was magically created within months of a global pandemic that what? No, you're just, no, ivermectin. You're crazy. Joe Rogan, you're weird. You just lumped all of us in with that. And then, of course, like clockwork, we're out of the thing, and all of a sudden, all the research is coming out. Everybody's dying from heart, whatever. Allegedly. We're not trying to get the slander or libel or any of that crap. But bruh, come on. The problem, have you ever heard of the 85-10-5 rule? There is a saying that 85% of the world is just here to be taken advantage of. That 10% of the world knows the truth of what is taking place in existence, uses that knowledge to subjugate the 85%. That would be your power structure, your elites, your this and that, whatever. The people that you constantly point at as the reason you're downtrodden. It's kind of magic what they're doing. Like literally, they're working magic on you. It's kind of amazing. Then the 5% are the 5% of the population that know the truth, but go against the 10%. They're not here to subjugate or misuse that knowledge or information to then take advantage of the 85% of the people who are asleep. That would be your sleepers. That would be the people that during a friggin' miraculous pandemic that really... If you don't even need to be a conspiracy nut, bro, you just need to be a little bit informed. There was a ton of signs, a ton of people making speeches, a ton of planned drills in New York. Just look at that. Like a lot of stuff was happening to the lead up of that. And then boom, that happened. And you know what's the weirdest to me? You know what? I still pull up and make me and my friends watch like every once in a while just to remind us of like how weird things got. I just said it earlier. You mean to tell me there's a burger component to all this? Do you like this stuff works on people? Do you remember in New York? Let me pull this up real quick. The mayor of New York went on TV, bro. The pandemic got so crazy. They were trying to convince everybody that taking the thing was the right thing to do. But how can you think that it's the right thing to do when the only way they were pushing it was through fear or through some weird like bargain bin campaigns? In Toronto, I swear, I was living in Toronto at the time. They were saying bring your kids to downtown City Hall and get friggin' ice cream bars to get your kids jabbed. Are you nuts? In New York, this is like, it got so funny. If you're telling me you took that shit and you don't feel like you got to do some reassessing and how you process life and how you really view people of authority and what you perceive authority to be, how you go against your own natural instincts. If you're religious, bro, and you took that shit, what? Huh? One of my favorite. There's two videos that just, damn, bro. I feel like there's two videos that completely capture two sides of the audience here. It's like there's your classic white picket fence Americans. There's this ad that was for them. And then there was like the black community, the ethnic community. They got their own set of ads because, you got to appeal to us differently. I'm going to start with Whitey over here. The mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio. Do you remember this beautiful video? Let's watch this together.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute.
Yo, pause it for a second. Do you not feel stupid if you took that shit? Do you not feel stupid that you were lumped in with the people that saw this video and fell for this? Fries and a burger, you dummies. Be a little informed. Let's finish watching. This is up there with like the greatest comedy specials of all time.
But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No.
Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? I can eat this burger? Yeah. Please watch the bite. Watch this shill. Take a fake bite out of this burger. I've watched this clearly a ton.
And think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
You dummies! You freaking weirdos! Bro, do you understand why I say what I say about comedy and all this stuff? Like, I promise you, I just spent the weekend making rooms of people like laugh hysterically, give me compliments out the wazoo. I had a lady hug me at the corner this weekend, and her husband told me I'm her new favorite comic. Like, I know what I'm doing in the world of comedy. I didn't get in this. I'm not an artist in my core, like at my nature. I'm not an artist to sell people garbage, to actually give you overdraft kings ads. But the majority of people are either in it for that, for clout, for fame, for just bags of money, and they do it at the expense of everybody else. Remember, 85-10-5. I'm not a 10%er, and I'm definitely not an 85%er. I was when I was asleep, but I like to consider myself at least a 5%er. I'm not trying to take the knowledge that I've learned through my life experiences and then all of a sudden use that. Like, do you know how pickup artists work? That is the same principle. You know, a man or a woman with more life experience can talk circles around someone who's younger. You wonder why old people get with younger people. Because they feel superior. Bro, you know how easy it is to talk circles around some dumb youth that don't know jack shit but think they know everything? Are you kidding me? And then what's even crazier is there's predators out there because there's young women that literally are attracted to older men because they're looking for something more mature. And then there's an older man who knows that insecurity or flaw or whatever, or lack of experience, and predicates on that. Also women too, you know what I mean? This is complete nut bar. You guys are wackos. Are we like? I posted the last week's fake ad reads on social media. I'm guessing I'm gonna continue to do this, but someone said is like, I don't consider these people shills because it's like, especially if you're selling your fans a product that you like or use, bro. If you got into your passion because your goal was to sell people this mug because I use this mug, then I dare say you never really had a passion for this at all. And it's just even crazier. And you know, I hear this argument all the time, but what are we to do, especially in these times? The money's tight and there's only so many avenues to make money. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I can't knock people for doing that. It's just my personal belief and experiences in life. But let's be honest about things. Life is effed up. Everybody at this stage admits life is effed up. This power structure is all out of balance. Money's all out of balance. Politics, religion, science, sex, everything we're all battling each other while people like this friggin' dummy eating a burger and fries telling you to get jabbed. We're fighting each other, but they keep winning. Do you not question? Like, do you not ever stop to think how we got here? Maybe it's because people keep saying that dumb shit. Well, it's just the signs of it. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. This is the only way to make money is to sell freaking Gucci advertisements now to the people that have been buying my tickets. To sell you, drink this friggin' sports drink or goddamn whatever the F. What? Drink this sugar drink, get diabetes so I can protect my family and pay my rent. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. And whatever, if I sound like a hippie or whatever, bruh, it's dumb as shit. My validation, my satisfaction literally comes from what's happening in the clubs. I don't want to then turn around and sell people something I know they don't need. Online gambling. Online gambling is my goal. That's my goal. Let me get so good in comedy to then turn around and sell the people that are like, this guy's a great comic. Online gambling. Get out of here. Let's finish this freaking crazy video. I'm going to go back just a little bit so we can get the full context.
Ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
You're insane. Look at the bite. Look at the bite. He didn't even bite it. The top bun isn't even bit. And there's the smallest bite out of the burger. You're a piece of garbage, bro. This guy's a shill. This is a snake oil salesman at its finest. So many of you drank that snake oil during that shit. And you try to fight other people. Like, this isn't even me trying to scold or fight people. Because I believe if you are the type of person that is so ideological that you need to take a side, then you've lost completely. You are the 85%. You are the 85% that the 10% like this jackass are taking advantage of. Completely ruling and subjugating the earth that was given to you, you freaking weirdos.
I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment.
You're a piece of garbage. You're an absolute piece of garbage. All right, that's the video that they played for white folks, okay? Let me show you, just in case you weren't paying attention to BET or any of the black channels during the pandemic. This is how they were trying to get black people. There are other, obviously every race got their own targeted shit, but like, bro, that burger one and this video specifically, like I quote, like they're jokes. Because to me, they are. And if you fell for this, oh my God, you need to reassess everything. And if you have kids, you need to make sure you're not educating them. You need to make sure you have smarter people in your life. You need to make sure you teach them how to think for themselves and to use like critical thinking skills. This is a Pfizer commercial with John Legend that came out during it was maybe just after the whole thing, but it was still during the whole campaign of everybody jab up.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary?
I don't, you creep.
Honey, and how do I keep my protection against COVID up to date?
Now you might be wondering, John Legend, how do you keep your voice so legendary? Honey, of course. Now you might also be asking, how do you keep yourself protected? What the Let's go back. Let's run this back. This guy's insane. Bro, John Legend and his wife have a lot of really gross conspiracy type rumors around them. And I think if you have like, bro, we stand these celebrities and just completely brush aside. Oh no, that's just conspiracy. Bro, do you not understand? Normal people don't have really creepy conspiracies floating around their heads. Even just that alone puts you in questionable status. But no, he has such a silky smooth voice. All his music is all loving and da-da-da. You guys are friggin' dumb. This guy clearly signed a blood oath whenever he got famous. And they're like, John, we need you to push the jab on black people right now. Remember, you signed this paperwork. Remember you and your wife at the Obama party. Look up that clip. You think I'm joking? Oh, so what's the weirdest thing you guys have ever done sexually? And then his wife was like, well, that was the one time at the Obama party. And then he's like, he shut her up real quick. We don't talk about that. And they just, the person tried to get some more info. Do you think they're going to talk about that? What weird sex stuff at an Obama party? What? Anyways, let's end this portion of the podcast with this.
Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so
legendary? You shill, you piece of garbage, you light-skinned bastard.
And how do I keep my protection against COVID up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you do for both. It's
Bro,
recommended
are you
by the
kidding me
CDC.
right now?
Fresher, the better.
The fresher, the better. Bro, what the This worked on you. If this worked on you, bro, look in the mirror right now and just spit in the mirror, bro. How dare you say that to yourself? This light-skinned bastard snake oil salesman. Holy, bro, they prepped him with the nice snazzy suit that had the tearaway sleeves, and he has 2 Band-Aids on his shoulder already with a glass of honey. Because, of course, he needs to keep his voice silky smooth. The fresher, the better. And, of course, I take every variant vaccine every 6 months. 85-10-5. You figure out who you are. Let's move on this comedy podcast. I'm sweating buckets. I'm going to do maybe one of the Comedy Skreets and get out of here this week. I wanted to do more, but yo, it's so hot. And Dante's not even here for me to bounce stuff off of. Like, no ideas. It's just like me talking to a wall. You know what I mean? You know what, though? I think this is a good place to tell you guys. And now, a quick word from our sponsor, Red Bite, the revolutionary chewable tablet for men who've completely forgotten how to be alone with their thoughts. Tired of being a regular human with normal, functioning mood and energy levels? Wish you could stay in a permanent state of arousal between Reddit tabs and Amazon packages? Red Bite has you covered. Just chew, zone out, and let the dopamine do the driving. Here's how it works. You fill out a short digital form answered by either a doctor or a guy named Trevor with clip-on bangs Honestly, we aren't 100% sure. Then bam, chewables start arriving monthly like a horny little Christmas. Now, obviously, I'm only sharing this because I genuinely believe in this product. Not because I was offered $50 and 3 months of free samples. Not because of that. Okay? Which, full disclosure, I did accept. I've got a drawer full of these things. I started handing them out at brunch like Tic Tacs. My aunt took one by mistake and aggressively flirted with the espresso machine at our last house get-together. Sorry, auntie. But let me be real with you. Red Bite isn't just a pill. It's a lifestyle. A lifestyle where every podcast, YouTube break, and meditation playlist now includes an urgent call to fix your allegedly broken manhood. Why relax when you could be maximizing performance for endless imaginary partners you ghost the minute you close your laptop? Look, fellas, if you've ever thought, man, I love chewing things, I love subscriptions, and I hate feeling moments of peace, then Red Bite is right here to help. Our goal? To replace your emotional intimacy with flavored pharmaceutical candy until the concept of pleasure is a vague memory and your screen time is illegally actionable. Is legally actionable. So get to Red Bite. Go right now. Go to redbite.ru and use promo code Gooner for, 10% off your first existential spiral. That's Red Bite for when you're not sure if you're evolving or just on autoplay. Once again, you dummy, if you thought that was real, bro. How do we have so many boner pills now, bro? You gooners need to figure something out. And lady gooners. What's a lady gooner? Are you still considered gooners? Is it not weird that every podcast... Yo, you know what's actually even weirder? Is that I'm seeing ads when I scroll on social media. They're fake podcasts. They do like a little fake podcast clip pretending like it's a real podcast, and then they just throw in like they're talking about blank chew, the latest in friggin' erectile dysfunction pills. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a podcast for my kids. What the hell is going on, bro? Bro, we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot. My whole goal now as a comedian is to get my podcast to blow up so that I can sell boner pills to erectile dysfunctional men and really disturbed women. What the hell is happening anymore, bro? What is being an artist? I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to a segment here that I love, and sometimes you love it and sometimes you hate it. It's Indies Comedy Skreets. Usually Dante and myself, but just myself this week. Every week or from time to time, we look up the stand-up board on Reddit or just go to random comedy-centric websites or pages on the internet, see what people are discussing about the world of comedy, and we give our own two cents on it. Yo, I'm sweating like crazy. This is too much today. It's too much. I need honey and a COVID shot like friggin' John Legend wanted me to get. So yeah, I went on the stand-up board on Reddit. I found a couple of interesting posts, and maybe I'll do two of them. Let's see how long this takes. I will start with this first one here, posted on r/standup by Outrageous Hawk 7919. The headline is, "Where is the craziest place you've done a show that's not a club, bar, etc.? I need ideas. I want to put a small show on somewhere different and cheap, maybe an open basement in a house or a garage or somewhere. Any tips or ideas are welcome. Thanks." This one's pretty simple, actually. Personally, let me think about this. The weirdest place, there was the tire shop. I performed comedy. It was inside a tire shop for a Christmas party for the tire shop, which, self-explanatory, but it was very weird. It's already tough when you try and perform comedy in a place that's not set up for it. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but where comedy thrives is low ceilings, dark room, damn near no lights except for on the stage. Intimate. People kind of seated closely together. That's why I think clubs and theaters are the best experiences to see comedy. Once you start getting bigger, it's mainly because the artist or the comedian is so big at this point. It doesn't really make sense. You'd be losing out not just on money, but like when you build up a fan base of that size and you can fill up an arena, you know, you're most likely going to fill up the arena because you're doing a tour and it's not feasible to. But if you're someone like Dave Chappelle, who I really admire the way he approaches things, he'll do like 6 nights in a theater so that as many of his fans can still see him as would go to an arena over a longer period of time because the venue is shorter. So he has to do more shows to accommodate for that. I personally love that. I don't necessarily see myself wanting to go bigger than theater, but I would absolutely love to try an arena. I'm not going to act like I don't want to do an arena. I want to try the gamut. You know what I mean? Definitely tire shop and a barn. I performed a couple barns, oddly enough. I'm in Canada, so what a surprise. The most awkward one though was a weed. It was like a weed vendor, like you know, like a place where a bunch of weed vendors were. This was years ago, and in a barn, and it was like an outdoor weed event. They had music and all this stuff, comedy and all this stuff. So it was like a farmer's market for weed essentially, and they stuck the comedy in the corner of the barn. Literally like so out of the way that as soon as you picked up the microphone, there was nothing you could do. I had to stand on a table to make it at least presentable and reach people. Now, when something like that is happening, bro, you are just praying and just counting the minutes and getting through the time you were paid for. And what was even more awkward for me is my set happened to be during 420. Like it started before 420, but my set was long enough that it went into 420. And at 420, literally in the middle of me telling a joke or trying to save the semblance of a set, I hear a friggin' loud horn. And some guy came out with, it was a leaf blower looking machine full of weed. So it's like, they just packed like a friggin' ounce of weed into this thing and just started, it was like a smoke machine, but just with weed. And people started gathering like zombies. You couldn't get them to come to the corner for comedy, but and they happened to do, of course, they did it right on the other side, like the opposite corner of the comedy to do the weed thing. And people just started walking towards this thing like zombies, just breathing. The only thing I could do, it was a wireless mic. So I took the mic and went and started smoking with the people. So those would definitely be the 2 craziest places I've done comedy for sure. Don't tell this guy about don't tell comedy. Good point. This is the first comment that I just read on this post. Don't tell comedy is pretty well known now throughout North America. They do shows in the US and Canada, in damn near every major market. Don't Tell is a series of comedy shows. They don't even promote the shows. People just know about them now because they've built up through word of mouth. They do secret shows, and they do all the shows in venues that are not related to comedy. So no bars, no comedy clubs. I did a couple shows in London, a couple Don't Tell shows, and they were in a law firm. They were also ones in a former laser tag place. This is the type of, which honestly is like the way they set it up. Again, I know I say that comedy works in specific places, but these shows are also run by comedians, and the ones that I've done specifically have always been in a place where comedy has worked well in it. So I feel like, you know, if you know what you're looking for, you can still go in an out of the box type venue, but get what you need to make a comedy show really like impactful in terms of comedy. Let's see some of these. A nursing home, a laundromat, the wine cellar of a haunted mansion. There used to be a mic in Boston called Jed's Basement in the basement of a guy named Jed's Mike still continued even after he moved out. Keys Comedy Club in Toronto is pretty much the same thing. They have a new location now, but their original location was this rickety house, and nobody knew if it was a comedy club or a house. Like you couldn't tell. You had to go around the back of the house and climb up the fire escape and stuff. It was really funny. It's still there, but just again, not in that venue. I feel like I didn't pick the best one, so maybe I will do two. I said I would probably do one. Let's read another couple of these comments here. Did a show in some rich guy's living room. He won a comedy show at your house as part of some charity auction. He had it catered and invited all his friends. It was one of the most fun shows I've ever done. I have done living rooms. I don't really like it. I don't. It can be fun, but get me out of your house. What am I doing? Again, I've had fun doing them, but it's not my ideal. Why can't we just all meet up in a venue? You were able to get 40 plus people crammed into your living room. You're telling me, I mean, I get it. Maybe you just wanted to save the money from renting a venue. I get it. But at the same time, no. Rooftop of some apartments. I've done that also. Not a great show. Everybody bombed, but unique for sure. Terrible set. Great pictures. I actually had a great time at mine. I don't think there are any left in Toronto right now. I'm surprised. The weather's been really hot. The middle of the Sahara in Niger. Jesus. What was that even like? The middle of the desert. Basement of a bagel store in Manhattan. Jim Gaffigan showed up long time ago. Jeez, and Jim Gaffigan showed up. It sounds like a place where he would show up. Places I've actually performed in. Someone's rooftop. It's also a 6th floor walk up. On the beach during a music festival. I've done a beach as well. On a junk boat. I've done comedy on a boat as well. I wouldn't say it's the weirdest place, but not fun either. A bar's beer garden by an airfield. I've done a beer garden also. Barbershop. I've also done a barbershop just recently in Mississauga. That show was great. Damn, how, is this somebody I know? Like, was this me drunk? But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I will do a bonus one. We are doing a bonus in these Comedy Skreets. I'm not even gonna separate them. They're going in one video package together. Which one do I pick? Comic stole my joke or rewriting a joke? Okay, I guess I'll do this one. Also on r/standup, rewriting a joke based off TikTok comment and feel weird about it. This was posted by I Am So Tired. Important context. I'm a brand new comic, never actually done stand-up before, but I'm preparing for my first open mic. I wrote a joke and posted it on TikTok. It got decent traction with a few thousand likes. Someone left a funny comment that I realized if I reworded a bit would make a way better punchline. I messaged them and asked if I could use that punchline when I told the joke in the future, and he said go for it. I just feel kind of hacky. Before the joke was 100% original. Now it's still original, I suppose, but with direct feedback from someone else worked in. It doesn't quite feel like my joke anymore. I got their permission and I'm not using their comment word for word, so I don't think I can be accused of joke stealing, but I don't know. Just feel weird about it. First of all, I am so tired. Me too, by the way. I can absolutely tell you have never done comedy before because you're freaking out over using a TikTok comment on your joke already. First of all, you did the work. You wrote the joke and someone just left that will happen to you all the time in comedy. Comics, your friends, random comics that are just in the back of the room will see you do a set and some of them will steal it without telling you. But good people that just like the joke will often, this just happened to me this weekend, will approach you and be like, I have a tag for that joke. I have another direction you could go for that joke. Now, you don't have to try it, but trying it doesn't mean you stole. Trying it doesn't mean that it's not your joke. Trying it doesn't mean that it's not still wholly originally your thought. But I also get why he feels hacky about it, because it's like a balancing act, right? Especially, I would imagine this person has a lot of preconceived notions about what being a comic is, considering they never did it. They're still just thinking about it and getting ready to do it. Like, it's a comment on TikTok. That's not joke thievery if it's a comment on your joke. You wrote the joke, it's your thing. Someone just made a comment on it. And if you find that funny, then work it into the joke. I don't think you should feel bad about that. Hacky, you can make the argument that it is hacky. But again, if it works, if it enhances the joke, then how is it hacky type deal? I think what makes him feel hacky about it is that it's off TikTok and some random person leaving a comment, which, I make the argument all the time that the social media crap is absolute hack. So, I'm not necessarily the guy that would be pulling or mining for joke material or punch-ups or just bonus scrap on social media. I am the type of person where I want it to be wholly my thought. And even when people do approach me, I've said this before on the podcast, but it's like when I'm getting advice for the tag on a joke or for another direction for a joke or something like this, I very rarely use it. I mostly will try it at least once just to see, but I don't like using that stuff because it just doesn't work with me. Like, I am very specific. I'm a weirdo, yo, and I know how I am a weirdo. And even though, like, I'm a weirdo, you don't know how exactly my brain operates in this weirdo piecing jokes together way. So like I'm very specific and particular about how I craft my jokes, and I like it to just always remain me authentically. But again, that doesn't mean I don't listen or appreciate it. I will give it more thought if the person is a close friend of mine or they actually really know me well. Because then you have more of an insight into how I create my jokes, and I can kind of get a better gauge on not even a better gauge, but I feel better about it knowing my process. Because then you can kind of approach me and be like, this is how this will work and why, as opposed to this is how you should do this with this joke because I find this joke funny and I think this is how I would tell your joke. Because that's a lot of what it is. A lot of times it's a comic hearing something that they find funny and that they wish they would have thought of or whatever is something in their wheelhouse. And it's like, this is how I would approach this joke. And that to me is like the feeling of hack. I just get the feeling of hackiness when that happens. You know what I mean? But definitely don't think this person, I think they're overthinking it. But in the same breath, I would say it's probably a good habit to not get, it's probably a good thing to not get in the habit of just taking a bunch of crap from TikTok comments and putting them into your comedy. Let's read some of these comments and get the hell out of here, bro. I'm sweating buckets. Hacky, LOL, you haven't even gotten on stage yet. Bingo. You know what I mean? Like, how do you even know? Not hacky. People give each other tags and punches all the time. Bingo. That's just what I just spent the last 5 minutes saying. That's just part of the process. Nothing hack about that. Right now, with only a few jokes written, having one joke co-written by someone else is a large percentage of your material. But it won't always be, and it's totally fine since I bet the other person isn't doing stand-up and is happy knowing you're doing it. It's cool you asked. Just tell it confidently, knowing there's nothing wrong with that. Or if you still feel weird, just don't. Beautifully put. Also, I will go back and mention, definitely good of the person to have asked. That's good instinct. It's like, look, I don't know if you're a comic or not. I feel a type of way. And to be fair, if I ever do feel types of ways about stuff, this is like, you got to approach. You got to actually say something. If somebody stole your joke, now, I've talked about this also. A lot of times if someone's doing a very similar joke to me, and I know, because sometimes you could really tell, bro, like your beats are your beats, and it's really hard to replicate that and make it wholly original without me picking up on the fact that, oh, your wording here is so specific that there's no way you got this from anywhere else. But I actually throw the joke out a lot of the times. Sometimes I'll confront, but at this point, it's not even, I'm so wholly original that it's hard to take my ish. And I think that is the better challenge. That is the better route or approach to take with comedy. Try and be so original that if someone steals your joke, like it's obvious, you can just pull up a video recording and be like, bro, nice try. Nice try, Diddy. Ha! Yeah, I'll read one more just for good measure. Damn, this is a really long-winded one. I'm not going to read that, nigga. That is 8 paragraphs. Okay, look at the credits of Chris Rock's huge special. Riffing off others is in a writer's room seems pretty typical. So because you have permission and are rewriting it anyway, MYQ. I'm too old to know what MYQ stands for. MYQ is a real comedian and said it better. I'm sorry I read that, ladies and gentlemen, and just wasted all our time. But I think that's going to wrap it up for Indies Comedy Skreets, and I'm going to wrap up this episode right now. If you haven't already, go check out the latest clips. I just posted some recent Comedy Skreets clips on the channel. There's also the latest episode of Black Zeus' show. Definitely go and check that out. If you're looking to come catch me do live comedy, I will be at Yuck Yucks in London, Ontario, in Oshawa, Ontario, and in Burlington, Ontario. I got all those dates. I'm posting them on my socials. Go check that out. I will be at Nubian. I am making the Return to Nubian show the last Sunday of July at Yuck Yucks Toronto. That's Kenny Robinson's Nubian Disciples of Richard Pryor. The best and longest running black comedy show in Canada. The closest thing we have to Def Comedy Jam. My favorite show. I can't wait. I have so much new material that has been gangbusters. Gangbusters. I didn't really do a comedy recap on this episode, but just know I did the corner this weekend and all my new material slaps so heavy. I have this country bit, man, and I swear it's like it's sweeping the rooms every time I do them. And I've only started telling this joke just 2-3 weeks ago, and it's one of my heaviest hitters right now. I'm back. I've been writing so much new shit, and I've actually been doing it. And getting out of that slump of going back to old reliable jokes, which I feel like I've been doing a little too much lately. So this has been a really good feeling for me. But again, my writing has caught up to my joke ability, like to my ability on stage. My writing comes out fully formed now. So I know that if I'm writing it down, it's a banger, guaranteed. For me, through my voice. Now, you know, there's exceptions to the rule, obviously. I say bang, that's a lot of confidence, but the some are duds. But if I'm writing it down, I know it's at least funny to me. And if it's funny to me, then I can definitely make it work, you know? And I was just with Dante yesterday at Aqua Nova. Shout outs to Trevor and the gang for running Foe's Mic. Had an absolutely fun time performing in this little hipster brewery in Hamilton, Ontario. Everybody did great. Shout outs to Andrea. She did great. Everybody did great. There's this... Is he Indian? I don't remember exactly his ethnicity, but he's an ethnic fellow, and he has such Andy Kaufman vibes. Like I told him this after his set, and he's like, everybody tells me this. I'm like, good, because they're not lying. You are totally like you're an original version, you know, but you have like this Andy Kaufman-esque energy, and he's starting to use it. He's a newer comic, but he is starting to figure that out, and that is so much fun to me. Wherever you are, go support live comedy, wherever you are, because the next Chappelle, the next Andy Kaufman, the next great is literally in your neighborhood, and they just need a little bit of encouragement. Don't encourage the online memers. They do not need any of your encouragement. Stop scrolling. Holy F. Go touch grass. Go touch grass. Thank you to all the fake sponsors that sponsored this episode. I am your boy, Black Zeus. I am a shill now. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Black Zeus, the podcast, season 6, episode 26. Until next week. Love y'all. Peace, peace.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus, the podcast, season 6. Featuring Black Zeus and Dante. AKA Black Zeus on YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram.